It is Wednesday, March the 5th, 2025. Today is Ash Wednesday of the season of Lent, which are 40 days prior to Easter. I'm out here in the woods in Michigan, one of my favorite spots, a place I consider like a sanctuary, because it's a place I can come and contemplate things of life and my relationship to God in lieu of all these things. I'm making this video to share the Lent experience with mainly my friends who didn't grow up in a tradition or are unfamiliar with what Lent even is. At best, maybe to them, they hear of people eating fish on Fridays, or giving up chocolate, or giving up alcohol, or giving alms, things that the mainline and Catholic traditions are known to take on this day. Is the day you'll see the people, you're going to run into people today and they got that black cross on their face and you're going to say, what's on your face? They're celebrating Ash Wednesday, and Ash Wednesday is the start of Lent, because through the season of Lent, instead of contemplating how great God is, how he gives us abundance of gifts and is the giver of all good things and salvation, we consider the fact that we were made from ashes and we shall return to ashes. And that can be difficult to want to celebrate, and many of my friends listening who come from free church or evangelical church backgrounds, they're not really familiar with Lent, because we're told when you feel distant from God, you should get excited. God's exciting. If you clap for your favorite football team, you should be cheering for God because he's way more awesome than that. And that doesn't always connect. Or you might think, when you're far distant, feeling like God isn't maybe enough for you in your life and things aren't going your way, you decide what you need to do is read your Bible a bit more, get up, take walks, do devotionals, do good service deeds for other people, get in touch with other Christians and spend time with them and talk about God, join a Bible study, join a group, and find your excitement for God. Maybe you need to pray a little bit more because things aren't in control, and God controls all things, so you got to go talk to the one who is in control of all things so that you can get control of things the way you want in your life. And Ash Wednesday and Lent is a season where we actually say it's okay to let things go. It's okay to stop fixing things. I actually came to this location in hopes that I would find something I saw here the other day coming on a walk. I was walking through here, and here in the briar going out towards the lake there was a woodpecker. It looked like it was alive. It was perched up on the branch. And so I went down close to it and I noticed it was dead. It had flown into the branch, grabbed with one talon a branch, and then rested its neck up over the other branch, brought its other talon up and just kind of held its beak, and it was dead. And I posted a few places. People said it looked eerie and sad, and it did, but there was something also very graceful about it. So I contemplated the woodpecker. I even looked it up. And of course, the internet's got a lot of things to say about when you encounter a woodpecker. And this is one thing it says about it. It says that if you see a woodpecker, it could be a sign to you that you need to focus on new motivation. You got to get your goals together. You got to drive, right? That's the woodpecker's life. It's this industrious bird that flies all over the forest, peck, 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 going into all the dead trees, looking for bugs, looking for worms, trying to survive another day. It's a very industrious bird. And I can't help but think that even though that bird was obviously dying from something, whether it was just old age, natural causes, or maybe it ate something bad. It knew it needed to take a rest for a moment, so it came down to perch, and I wonder if it just lopped its head over and that was its final rest. Because the woodpecker was made from ashes, it shall return to ashes, just as you and I. So, what would cause you to even want to embark on letting go for 40 days? And I don't mean giving something up, giving up your chocolate or whatever else, your alcohol. It might be something you do, but I think it's okay to do it imperfectly. I think it's great that there's 40 days to consider. I'm not in control of my life. And I need to know that God is still good, even though things don't go the way I would like them to go all the time. So I guess I would say maybe you need to think about the things that wake you up in the night. Even when your life's going well, you're closing deals, your relationships are right where you want them on par, you got money in the bank, your health is good, you're generally happy, the sun is shining on you every day. Still, oftentimes in those seasons of life, something wakes you up in the night. Something comes up on your mental list that says, we need to get this thing worked out and we need to bring it under control. There's something to fix. Life is good, but if I don't maintain this, I'm going to lose it. So that's a great indicator, I think, of something that you might want to contemplate. Another thing could be contemplating the places where you feel like you're losing. It sounds redundant maybe to what I just said, but for me personally, I can get caught up. Well, I have children. One of my children suffers from depression in this time of their life so deeply that they have had to seek medical intervention so badly that at times when it's dark for them, I feel the best thing I can do is go sleep where they sleep, make a bed where their bed is, just so that they know in the night there's someone there for them. And it doesn't feel like winning, it feels like losing. And before going into these journeys with God, where I've started to embrace the fact that life is out of my control and I can't make it work the way I want it to work, and that's okay, God can be good, to have to consider that a child of mine who I've raised in love and tried to be present with and still am very present with struggles to understand why life would even be worth living at times. That can feel like losing. And then there's just all these things that we can't control. A lot of people, whether you voted for Donald Trump or you think he's the devil, a lot of us are really fired up about politics, really fired up about actions happening in the government around the world, the war in Ukraine, and we can't control it. It's not ours to control. I go on the same places you do and I see the same arguments, whether I hear them face to face or not. People get really fired up and they want to control this. So maybe there's a 40-day journey for you to relax, let some things go. And instead of saying, God, my world will only be good if you do X, Y, Z, make this relationship better, make the Ukrainians win, make the Russians win, make the war end altogether. Donald Trump, something bad or good happens to him. Instead of thinking along these lines, what can I control, what can I make better, to consider resting. There's a passage in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11. It's in the last verses 28 and 30. I've always liked these verses, but they didn't always make sense to me because I don't know a lot about working with yokes. So I have come to really enjoy it in Eugene Peterson's work called The Message, where he takes the translated text of the Bible and writes it in a contemporary way. So here's how he has written these words of Jesus. He says, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you will recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." It's Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. I don't know that I have the drive to come out and do devotionals for the next 40 days. But I have come far enough into learning how to rest in God that I want to help my people that need it as well. And thinking back to that bird, the symbol of motivation and goals in industry, maybe it's time to just rest. Maybe it's time to just let go of the things you're trying to fix. And I don't mean give up on them. I mean just set them aside. Maybe instead of drawing close to God for 40 days by praying harder and reading your Bible, you need to put your Bible up. And you need to learn how to sit in silence with God rather than speak. Maybe the things in your life, your goals, your ambition list, to have a better year in business, acquire new things, it's time just to set them aside. I'm not asking you to give anything up. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm inviting you into the learned practice of resting in God.